Welcome to this episode of the Real MC podcast. Today we are having staff injecting day.
Yay.
It's been a minute for all of us.
Yes.
We're all moving, and so when we get here, we pointed out to each other like, no. So today is that day. This is JC, our general manager and nurse practitioner and injector. Also injector Kelsey, who is also an RN. Today we want to talk just a little bit about why we use what we use and where it goes. The biggest question that for me, and y'all chime in, most new patients ask, which one do I need and why? So at our facility, we are a very strong Dysport facility. We use more Dysport than any of the other neuromodulators. We like that it sets in very quickly and it has really good longevity. Also, the stillness of it is just something that we like better at this facility. Botox, I would say, is next in line. If someone is struggling with Dysport, we would suggest moving to Botox. They are a trace protein different. Third, and at our facility, the last one that we use would be Xeomin. It has no trace proteins. So if Botox and Dysport are like brother and sister, I kind of think of Xeomin as the cousin. It is a little different, and so if you don't respond as well as we would like you to Botox or Dysport, we will make that change. Do either of you guys have anything to say in terms of, patients and when you're discussing these neuromodulators? What are the questions that they ask you guys?
I get a lot of what is the difference and which one should I use, especially for first-time patients? What I like to tell them is that Dysport has a smaller molecule size, and so it kind of disperses a little bit better than what I see with Botox. So that's nice for a first-time patient because you get better coverage and it sets in faster. So you have a little bit more of that instant gratification, which is always nice to see. So that's why I tend to choose Dysport over Botox for first-time patients.
I think we all want to have it today and look better yesterday.
Yeah.
So when something sets in a little quicker, that is always better.
Yeah.
Kels, kind of the same for you.
Absolutely.
I kind of come at this from an angle of, if the majority of our patients are doing Dysport, kind of that many people can't be wrong. So we do at this facility like to start you there. Like I was saying, there is a difference in the trace protein between your Dysport, which we'll be using today, and your Botox. The other thing about Dysport and Botox is people think that it takes 3 times as much Dysport as it does Botox. So if you're simply talking units, it seems that way by numbers. We're actually reconstituting both of these neuromodulators with the exact same amount of product. And so there's no difference in amount. We're calling this 2.5 ml 100 units of Botox. This 2.5 ml is 300 units of Dysport. So even using the same amount, it sounds like 3 times as much. So Dysport's really not cheaper. It's typically very competitively priced.
Right.
So it costs about the same. The range for Botox for me, depending on gender, age, would be 40 to 50 units to treat kind of all the general areas that we treat. Using Dysport, that's the equivalence of, it is 40 to 50 units of Botox, but it's 120 plus units of Dysport. Right. So today we're going to be treating Kelsey with 1 ml of Dysport, which at a 2.5 ml dilution is 120 units. We're going to be treating her glabellar complex right here between the brows. Her forehead, we're going to leave her a little bit of brow movement without anything crazy, and then also soften her crow's feet.
Now she's already been cleaned before we inject too, so.
We'll talk about the topical kind of that.
We do. So Kelsey did not opt to be numb today. We do have a topical lidocaine that we apply to our patients for our fillers, and that is available for you to use if you'd like to before your Botox and Dysport. I know a lot of patients have reservations about the pain, especially the first time. It's very mild whenever you're just doing the injections for Botox or Dysport. So if you'd like to be numbed, you can. You have that option, but you don't have to. Kelsey opted not to, so.
And Kelsey's kind of a weenie, so if she makes faces, she usually does numb, okay? We grabbed her on the fly today. So I'm treating this glabellar complex. Squeeze your brows together. Now relax for me, Kels. just got an IV, so I'm still cold and chippy. Okay, now raise your brows for us, Kels. Still nice and tight under there. Kelsey is a young little spring chicken, so she doesn't have all the nasty horizontal lines.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. Perfect. Okay, so raise your brows for me. Now, I want to leave Kelsey some movement and make sure we don't drop her brow. And so I'm just going to hit right in this area of movement. Raise again for me. And so this is kind of, on some people who have really high brows, you don't want to get that Jack Nicholson eyebrow. And so on some people we'll have to do a little bit more out here, but Kelsey has like I said, a nice tight forehead. She's still just a baby. Okay, smile for me. Now relax. Raise your brow for me. Now relax. Smile again for me, Kels. Now relax.
So Marcy put a little bit of Tox right underneath the under eyes. That helps to reduce the crepiness and the wrinkling that you get underneath the eyes whenever we smile, on top of immobilizing the crow's feet.
There we go. So the only thing that we would change might be on somebody older like me who's got a lot more the horizontal lines. We might hit this little extra spot over here, but I do tend to get crazy eyebrows if we don't hit that spot. So those are your general areas. This should even up Kelsey's eyebrows nicely, relax her crow's feet, leave her nice brow movement, but also keeping everything else still and giving nice balance between the muscles. Not too bad, Kels?
No,
it's good.
Makes my eyes water.
So the duration of the product, Dysport and Botox are pretty comparable. You'll see that the product lasts for about 3 to 6 months typically, and keep in mind that this is a plateau effect. And so you're going to be immobilized for a while, and then you'll notice that you start moving, and that does change per patient. So I'll just have to kind of watch and see how your body tolerates each tox. So.
Yeah, I usually, I have some patients who the very next day feel it setting in.
Yeah.
I'm always going to be about a week, you know. Not a big difference for me, but all right. We'll treat again in 3 to 5 months. We'll see you next week for another episode of The Real MC. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on all social media platforms.